Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Yard Guy. Yard Guy! I want to say welcome to the new subscribers. We are growing. I actually started my own Patreon page for this channel. So if you want to support me on Patreon, $1 a month for moral support, go check me out at patreon.com/yardguy. Everybody else is begging for money nowadays. I figured, you know what? Why not get on the train and at least get out there? And it could generate some money. Who knows? But why not? So check it out on Patreon. I noticed that Harvey Weinstein, or whatever his name is, was in the news recently for his treatment of women. And we need to drum up some support from the women on this channel. You know, this Yard Guy is not just about guys. Yard Guy caters to women too. And, you know, who doesn't like women? Women are awesome. Women are badass. But yeah, Harvey Weinstein was treating women pretty crappily, sexually harassing them and whatnot. And all of a sudden, I looked at the news today, and it's like, Harvey Weinstein, off to rehab. And I busted out laughing because I couldn't help but think of Dave Chappelle in his stand-up where he was talking about, like, rehab is like home base for Hollywood elites, man. Like, what, you can't say that about the Jews? Base, nigga, I'm in rehab. 60 days. Got 60 days. I don't want to hear it.
Base, nigga, I'm in rehab. Woo! 60 days. I got 60 days. I don't want to hear it.
I only want to talk about one article other than that stuff. And I want to get you guys' comments on this article. And I understand now why everyone was always begging people to subscribe. Like, don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment. Because you can't do crap on YouTube without 100 subscribers. I have another YouTube channel that I've had since like 2006. And I don't have any of these like weird restrictions. So, you know, it must be grandfathered in on the other channel. So I go and start this YouTube Yard Guy channel, and I try to like customize it a little bit, and it ain't happening. It's like, you need to have 100 subscribers before you do this. So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. I want to hear your comment on this article. This is from the Daily Mail by Steve Doughty. I need to research who this Steve Doughty guy is, because this is the weirdest, dumbest, like, smoking cannabis does make people more violent. Project confirms for the first time that using the drug is the cause of crimes. I think this article is straight horse shit. Cannabis users are more likely to commit violent crimes, research has shown. Study found there was a more constant relationship between cannabis and violence than between alcohol or cocaine use and violence. More than 20 U.S. states have legalized cannabis for medical purposes. Oh my God. Cannabis users are more likely to commit violent crime, pioneering research has shown. It warned those who smoke the drug regularly run an increased risk of using violence against others. The project is the first to demonstrate that cannabis is not only linked with violent crime, but is the cause. Violent incidents monitored by the study based on the lives of more than 1,100 American psychiatric patients included assaults, attacks with weapons, and rapes. Their test subjects were psychiatric patients. Researchers said that cannabis causes violence, and they found no evidence that the link is the other way around, i.e., that violent people are more likely to use cannabis. There was no support, they added, for theories put forward by campaigners anxious to free the drug from the taint of links with crime. The academics said the effects of cannabis use was clear and not diminished by other factors, such as patients who were heavy drinkers of alcohol. The study comes after a series of American states have decriminalized cannabis, despite it being stronger and more potent than the hash smoked by hippies in the 60s, or made it available for medical use. A number of influential figures have backed a campaign for British laws banning the drug to be relaxed, including Richard Branson, Sting, and former Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg. Even Prince William gave a boost to the liberalization lobby last month when he asked a group of recovering addicts at a drug charity about legalizing banned drugs. The Prince observed, "There's obviously a lot of pressure growing on areas about legalizing drugs." The shocking toll of attackers linked to cannabis users. Listen to this garbage. Listen to these people. They're all schizophrenic. I'm going to leave a link to this article in the description below. I want you guys to check this link. Check out this article and tell me what you think. Comment on it, please do. Give me a comment. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Muhyiddin Mir. I don't know how to pronounce these names, so forgive me. The schizophrenic was jailed for life for the attempted murder of commuters at Leystone Tube Station, East London, in 2016. A court heard his addiction to skunk cannabis and had altered his brain to make him believe he was being followed by M15 or whatever it is. Walter Pantalero, 27, the Kung Fu champion, was tried for kicking his way into a London flat in March and attacking a woman, 22, with a knife. She was saved by her 15-year-old brother, who was hurt as he defended her with a chair. Pantalero, a schizophrenic who thought he was God, told police he had taken cocaine, but tests showed the only drug in his system was cannabis. Because cocaine comes out of your system in a couple of days, you dummies. Nicholas Salvador, 25, a cage fighter. He was detained indefinitely at Broadmoor for beheading an elderly woman with a machete on a rampage through gardens in North London in 2015. He was a heavy user of skunk cannabis and thought his victim was Adolf Hitler or a demon in the form of an old lady. These people are straight nuts, man. You gotta be tripping on acid to think that. Walter Graham, 29, the office worker, was detained after stabbing a prostitute in the neck with a 7-inch knife in Rockdale in 2015. He struck her with such ferocity that the handle snapped off while the blade remained lodged in her neck. The court was told he was a schizophrenic whose attack had been triggered by his use of cannabis. Michael Adeboel, 22, the Islamist extremist, was jailed for the murder of drummer Lee Rigby in Woolwich, southeast London in 2013. His trial heard that his symptoms of psychosis were increased by heavy use of cannabis. Laced with what? Frederick Russell, 28. He was tried for stabbing a homeless man near Putney Bridge Tube Station, West London, in 2013. Russell was said to be a schizophrenic with a history of alcoholism and cannabis use. Nicola Eddington, 32. She was convicted of murder after stabbing a stranger, Sally Hodkin, 58, in the street with a 12-inch butcher knife in 2013. Eddington had been detained for killing her mother, but had been freed. Before the stabbing, she had told a psychiatric nurse she had stopped taking her medication and had used skunk cannabis. This article should be about crazy people and how, oh my God. I wonder if these people drink milk. Is there a connection between these people and milk drinkers? Like, oh, they used cannabis? Oh, that's it. That's the link. That's the link. Cannabis is the link, you guys. The latest study by 5 researchers from institutes based in Montreal, Canada, examined the lives of 1,136 men and women who were patients at psychiatric hospitals in Missouri, Pittsburgh, and Massachusetts. You're already starting with psychiatric patients as your pool of test subjects? You guys are assholes. Shame on you. Records were gathered from interviews carried out every 10 weeks for a year after their discharge. It said patients who were using cannabis at each of those 5 checks were nearly 2.5 times more likely to have turned to violence than those who had not used the drug. Maybe those people that were turning to use the drug, smoking weed, were already having problems, and then that was like their first warning sign that they were starting to have problems because they were leaning on the drug. Like, this is retarded. It found that there was a more constant relationship between cannabis and violence than between alcohol or cocaine use and violence. The researchers said the link between cannabis and violence was not two-way, but unidirectional. Why don't you just legalize cocaine then? Like, let's just legalize everything. I think you really should. Here's my take. I think you need to legalize all the drugs, legalize prostitution, and arm everybody with a gun. I'll go indoors for like 6 months, let everything and all the other smart people too will go indoors for 6 months and let the people just work it out in the streets, because those people that just don't know how to handle guns, don't know, they're just too stupid. They'll get into a shouting match and go try to shoot somebody and shoot themselves in the leg, or they'll have an accident and blow themselves in the head. Those people, just let them work it out. It'll equalize. You just give it like 6 months, because I'm not going to run out there like, oh, did you hear? Did you hear? Heroin's legal now. Come on, let's go. What? You're not come on. suit yourselves, whatever. You know, who's going to do that? The only people that are going to do that are the junkies. They're going to get too much of what they really want. You know, they get too much of what they don't need, and it'll put them away, and then we'll be able to come out in 6 months. Anyway, that's all I'm going to ramble on about. Leave your comment about the article below. Do you think cannabis is the boogeyman? I think it's bullshit. That plant has been here for millions and millions of years. Who are we to come on the scene and start eradicating things? You know, what gives us the right to eradicate viruses? Aren't we just another form of virus? Leave your comments below. I'll talk to you guys next week. Yard guy.